This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined for the first time, might I add, by amateur sensation Junaid Bostan. We're here at the Steel City Gym in Sheffield. How are you, Junaid?
I'm all good, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Always a pleasure to come up to Sheffield and be welcomed down to Steel City, and always a pleasure to do an interview with somebody for the first time. So I'm all good. How have things been? I've just mentioned there you're an amateur sensation. Been on amateur boxing for a little while. What have you been up to?
Well, to be fair with you, it's been a while since I last boxed, been over a year, but luckily for me, I've been in the gym all the way through. So it's been a bit boring not having no fights, but it's been alright, it's not been too bad. And seeing my options and going from there.
Yeah, it's a story that we kind of hear an awful lot from pretty much every amateur boxer, really. No matter what level of amateur boxing they're at, everybody's kind of in the same position. There have been some frustrating moments, I'm assuming, in those last 12 months?
110%. Do you know what it is? We were looking at the Europeans, then we were looking at the Worlds for selections for that. Obviously, they've been postponed, cancelled, etc., etc. England didn't take a team. So, really, it was frustrating in that sense, but I've obviously gained a lot of experience, sparring, going all around the country, sparring up top lads. So, it's got its pros and cons, but you'd like to fight, and I understand why loads of lads are turning over. So, yeah. Where
have you been? Obviously, we've seen you around the circuit for many years. I've seen you kind of working out of the Ingle gym and doing bits and pieces with I remember seeing you with Kell Brook in the ring, not too long ago. Well, it feels like forever ago now, but not too long ago. Where have you been going to keep yourself busy in this period?
Well, I've been in Manchester quite a bit, but mate, I sparred David. I can't say his name.
David Avanesyan.
Yeah, sorry about that, David. He's a top man, but yeah, I did plenty of rounds with him. Good experience. I enjoyed that. It's more of a compliment to myself because I weren't actually meant to be sparring him, and then when I got called in to spar, they wanted me back and back and back again. So I appreciate that. Good learning, and I'm looking to be there and further on in my career.
What was that like? Because I've never seen David Avanesyan spar, but I've heard about how he spars, and I've heard that he doesn't like to take many prisoners in sparring, so I bet that was a good education for you.
Listen, that man whacks. He whacks. Obviously, you've seen it from his last fight, but he whacks. And to be fair with you, it's good because it keeps me on my toes, keeps me wary, and I need that. When it keeps you wary, that's where I'll shine. 100% I'll shine when the opposition levels up.
Going into that fight, obviously you helped him work ahead of the Josh Kelly fight. Were you expecting the fight to go as it went on the night?
Well, in my opinion, it went one or two ways. It was either Kelly maintains what he can do for the 4 or 5 rounds. Like, if you watch that fight for 2-3 rounds, he was doing very well. Or, in my opinion, I thought it would either be that or David Avanesyan stops him in 7 later on in the mid rounds. I think experience played a major part, and obviously that's shown on the night.
And obviously the world-class sparring that David Avanesyan was getting in preparation.
Well, of course, I don't want to be. I get enough stick for being arrogant, so I don't want to speak too high of myself yet.
This is boxing. There's no room for humility in a lot of areas in boxing. Talk to me about Steel City Gym. It's always a place that I do like to come up to. I always like to stay in touch with Grant, Dalton, and the rest of the boys. Talk to me about the gym and the atmosphere in the gym.
Well, I've been with Grant since I was 12-year-old. I started the day before Grant's birthday, and Sonny started 2 weeks before I did. So I've been with Sonny and the likes of Dalton and everyone since I was 12. So it's been good. We've obviously moved here a good 5-6 years ago now. The atmosphere in here is very good, and obviously I'm like the youngster of the group, so I get quite a lot of stake off the lads. But I enjoy it, and it's good learning because I've been around top pros for years and years and years, so you're learning on the job before you even go pro. So yeah, I like it a lot.
And you've also had you mentioned Sonny Edwards joining a couple of weeks before. He's about to box for a world title. Dalton's now turned over as a professional. He's looking to get on with his career, but you've kind of been there throughout the start of their journeys. It must have been great to see them now taking those steps and improving.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see your mates doing well. Obviously, they're like my older brothers type thing, do you know what I mean? But what it is, you're learning off them. So if they're making mistakes, if they're doing something well, instead of you making the mistakes, you're learning off them. So it's good, and it's education, ain't it? You learn on the job, so when I do get there, I know what's what.
What's it like now? Sonny's got his world title fight announced. He's not the quietest one anyway, but now he's got a world title announced. We're just 4 weeks away from it. Must be a nice little buzz in the gym.
Yeah, it's buzzing for him. Do you know what it is? I'm not the quietest lad either, and do you know what? Give me time and you'll start seeing that. But Sonny's going to smash it. God willing, he will smash it. Very proud of him. I don't say that, well, it's on camera now, he'll end up saying this, but I won't say that to him. But yeah, I really do hope he does well, and I'm sure he will. He knows what's what, he ain't fake, neither is Grant. They wouldn't take this fight if they didn't think they could do it, and I believe they can. And I think them lads who are betting, get into them bookies, because I've seen he's the underdog, and I'm not a betting man myself, but I would bet if I was.
Talk to me about your relationship with Grant, somebody who I know and I respect to get on well, but he's not a trainer. I'm not saying that there are trainers who like to hog the limelight or like to get themselves in front of cameras and be louder than the fighter, so to speak. Grant's the complete opposite of that. Talk to me about your relationship with him and the period of time you've been together.
Well, you've seen yourself when Sonny was here. The moment he got on the camera, he's run off. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, me and Grant, he's like a father figure. Well, no one can replace your dad, but if there was a bloke what you need to go and speak to other than my dad, it would be Grant. He's done a lot for me inside and outside the ring. He's took me everywhere with him. What can I say? Bit mad that with Dalton doing that there. Well, yeah, with Grant, he gives me stick, he gives me plenty of stick. He tells me what's what. If I need putting him in my place, he'll tell me I need putting him in my place. He's got my best interests at heart, and I wouldn't have any other man in my corner. From the age of 12, and I'm looking, God willing, all the way to the end of my professional career, I won't want any other man in my corner.
What's the plan for you now? Obviously, we mentioned at the start amateur boxing's kind of ground to a halt for a lot of people. There's a lot of people in this sort of limbo phase. Any thoughts about your future?
Well, I'm thinking of going professional. I'm thinking about it. I'm not turning professional. I'm thinking about it before this becomes an announcement. But yeah, just got to see what's what. Grant's my advisor. Grant's my trainer. I'll put my faith in him. I'll let him see the options and see what's best for me. But whichever way it goes, I've got a bright future ahead of me, and I know for a fact the public and the boxing will see a lot more of me, and I'll bring them excitement.
I mentioned kind of in this interview, although it wasn't that long ago, I remember you kind of doing pads and working with Cal Brook, and we kind of going through and looking at all of the other Sheffield fighters over the years who have kind of come and are now going. And it's apart from Barry, Kid Galahad looks like he's probably going to go on forever and ever, the way he trains and looks after himself. But what does it mean to you for yourself, Dalton, from people around this region to kind of carry the flag, really, for Sheffield boxing for the years to come?
Well, I've been blessed, really, because I've been around a lot of blokes what know the stuff about boxing. When I was young, I spent a lot of time with Brendan. He literally made me love boxing. Grant taught me boxing, but the amount of stories and wisdom I took off Brendan before he passed and everything, invaluable, priceless. I won't give it away to no one. But I've been around Kel, I've been around Barry. There's been that many names I couldn't tell you, but yeah, I've appreciated it. I've learnt lessons along the way, but it's just my turn. And when it's my turn, I'm going to be the best of the bunch, 1,000,000%. Me or Dalton, one or the other.
Yeah, I have to get that in because he's over there, and he sounds like he's not in any mood to play around today. He's doing his strength.
He's slamming them balls about, honest to God, mate. It's distracting. It's my first interview on here, no? So, yeah.
You're doing very well. Junaid Bostan, always a pleasure to come down to Steel City, and even more so to speak to you for the first time, hopefully not the last. I look forward to some news, whether it's amateur or pro, coming up sometime soon. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you very much.